Hey everyone, welcome back to 996. I'll rarely do a news update, rarely do just topics, a bunch of topics at once, but there's a lot of little things that have been happening the past couple days, maybe a week, that I haven't really commented on. And if I do other videos in the future, I don't want to just shoehorn them in. So here's a video for pretty much the past week. Boukary Mama signed 1 year, $750,000 league minimum, two-way deal. He signed that on free agency day. Just while I was making the video, they announced the signing. They announced two other signings shortly after as well, with John Sebastian Dia, who is an American Hockey League player, 2 years, $750K league minimum if he plays in the NHL, two-way contract as well. Just to update and point out that two-way contracts imply that the player will receive two different salaries depending on where they play. So in the American Hockey League, they'll get a much lower salary than $750,000. Usually under $100,000, but sometimes like Laurent Dauphin, who they recently signed as well, they guaranteed him $400,000 in the American Hockey League. But usually it's under $100,000. If you're a known name, a known commodity, it's maybe higher than that. But if they do get NHL minutes, they will make league minimum. Dia is a forward. Imama's a forward, fourth line energy guy, likes to fight, likes to muck it up. But Dia is like a good producer in the American Hockey League. He was on the Laval Rocket last season. They made it to the semifinals in their American Hockey League playoffs. He had 26 goals, 26 assists, 52 points in 70 games played. He gets to 2 years there. I like how they're beefing up the Tucson Roadrunners as well with Dauphin and now Dia. They've signed a bunch of NHL defensemen, albeit maybe poor defensemen, but that means that their young defensemen are going to stay in Tucson. Like I mentioned a lot of times already, Kolyachonok, Deneen, and others won't be called up due to injuries because they already have a lot of bottom pairing NHL defensemen at their disposal waiting in the press boxes. Then they have Gillies, I believe his first name's John, who's a goalie and a pretty bad goalie, so I'm hoping there's another goalie transaction in the future. Satiri, or as I like to call him, Satiri, signed in Switzerland, so he's no longer the Coyotes' backup to Vejmelka. Gillies played most recently with New Jersey. He had 19 games. He played 19 games where he had miserable numbers, 376 goals against average, and an 885 save percentage. Really bad. All New Jersey fans were laughing at us or, sending their condolences for the Coyotes making this signing. He gets 1 year league minimum, two-way contract. So that also implies that he might play in Tucson as well. Now in Tucson, you got a lot of goalie options. You got Prosvetov, Tendek, and now Gillies. Maybe Bill Armstrong wants to create internal competition between the goalies. You also have Thornton, who's been playing really well in the Ontario Hockey League. He might push for a spot with the Tucson Roadrunners. But for me, Bill Armstrong mentioned he's going to look at the waiver wire closer to the season and training camps. That's the time where teams make their roster and the odd man out gets sent on waivers. So maybe they pick up a better quality goalie on waivers. I hope. I don't want a Vejmelka and Gillies tandem moving forward. And then just today they signed Connor Geekie to his entry-level contract. Geekie, who got injured in development camp, believe it or not, on the first day too. He got checked into the boards. It wasn't a serious injury, didn't require surgery, but it took him out of the whole development camp on the ice practices and the scrimmage, but I think he was able to participate off the ice. So that's good to hear, and congratulations to Geekie for getting a contract sooner than Logan Cooley. We'll see when they sign Cooley. Maybe they signed him right now. Who knows? But he got $950,000. This doesn't mean he's playing in October. He might play October, but he's obviously not going to play more than a 9-game tryout. They're not going to waste a year of Geekie. He's obviously going to go back to the WHL. Maybe they'll give him a look for the 9-game stint. But, this is just a sign to make him happy. They like what they saw. And it's just a formality, to be honest, to just sign your high draft picks to entry-level contracts. And then we lost Jay Verity, the Tucson Roadrunners head coach to the Detroit Red Wings. He was also the assistant coach during that shortened 56-game season where there was no American Hockey League going on. So he got put on Rick Tocchet's bench. We all know what happened there. But he went back to Tucson last season. We gutted their players due to all the injuries. Tucson had a miserable season, just like the Coyotes did. So, it's unfortunate that we lost Verity. I think the only positive out of this is that Bill Armstrong is going to look for his guy. Pretty much every position, from scouting to player development to assistant coaches to assistant general manager, it's all been Bill Armstrong hires and his people he wants in the organization. So this is good news for me and for us fans, because this means he's going to hire someone he likes. He's going to hire someone that's on the same page with everyone else. I should have mentioned Andre Tourigny as well, was a Bill Armstrong hire. But I like everyone on the same page. This is the only reason why this rebuild and teardown is digestible, is because the ownership, the CEO, the general manager, the head coach, the assistant general manager, the scouts, they all know what they're doing. They all know the position they're in. So including the American Hockey League coach into this fold and bringing him on this path of where they need to be, it's a positive thing for me. And hopefully they get a good coach who could propel the Roadrunners back, to top 3 in the division, because they've been playing pretty poorly since they won the championship title in 2020 at the Pause, which was a default, title championship. But, hopefully they hire someone good. Trust Bill Armstrong. He hasn't really done too many questionable mistakes just yet. So looking forward to that. Also, they cap friendly released like the top 9 or 10 youngest teams with their projected rosters. And the Coyotes were 8th place with 26 and a half years old on average with their roster. I think if, Andrew Ladd retires, that will bring the age down severely, because our oldest forwards and oldest players, full stop, on the team are, Travis Boyd at 29, Nick Bukestad at 30. You have Nick Cassian, who they acquired, and I didn't look up his name. And then you have Andrew Ladd. Those are the veterans. On the back end, there's no real veteran. It's still Gostisbehere, maybe Nemeth. I didn't look up his age. But a very young D-core the Coyotes have compared to last season, where they had Strawman. And they also have Connor Timmins, who's a young prospect, so he's not old. But they did away with all those guys like Roussel, Beagle, Erickson, all those anchors up front on the forward core. So that brought their average age down. The youngest team was Buffalo Sabres with 25.9. You also had Ottawa, Detroit, Columbus, Anaheim mixed in there as well. So, we're getting younger. Doesn't mean we're getting better. But, it's good that we're going to have a lot of players on this team who could bring the energy night in and night out. Whether they're dominant performers remains to be seen, and I highly doubt that. But should be exciting to have another young team compared to last season, where there's a lot of old anchors on the team. And no Alex Galchenyuk as well. And then lastly, I should have wrote new uniforms to not be so, throw you off there, because New Jersey, obviously, the New Jersey Devils. But there's speculation that the Coyotes are going to have 2 new uniforms next season. There's a user on Reddit who's posting on the Coyotes subreddit, little hints and dog fooding, or just leaving breadcrumbs for us fans about new uniform updates. It's going to be, he says, or they say, don't know if it's a guy or a girl, if it's going to be a maroon jersey. They're saying it's going to be a maroon jersey as their alternate, and they're saying there's also going to be a new reverse retro jersey. Now that's confirmed that every team's going to have a new reverse retro jersey off the heels of the great sales of the first reverse retro series launch. So we'll see. They're going to get 2 new uniforms this upcoming season. One's for sure the reverse retro, but there's rumors circulating that it's going to be a new maroon jersey. And they're also not sure what logo is going to be on the front, if it's going to be the, Kachina head, like the purple jersey was a couple years ago with the first reverse retro series, or it's the Kachina, or maybe something different. I think it might be the Kachina head. They're using it a lot in their promotional videos, and it's a cool side logo to have, just a head in different colors. It's a cool looking logo. I don't think that's going to be the primary logo. It's a bit too bland for me. I think, the whole Kachina, I'm not wearing it, just looks really good and classy on the front of the jersey. And they just rebranded with the Kachina logo last season, so I don't think they're going to shift to a new primary logo. I think just with these alternate jerseys, you might just have the head part, which would be a cool look. As for the maroon speculation, it might pay homage or homage, however you pronounce it, to the Sun Devils. So, playing into the fact that they're playing at ASU Arena. The Sun Devils have maroon jerseys, so maybe the Coyotes are going to launch their own maroon jerseys. So that'd be interesting. My favorite color is red, so to have, a jersey closer to a shade of red would be to my liking. But I really like their white Kachinas, their black Kachinas. They're good, not my favorite. I'm liking the white Kachinas way more than the black ones, but, we'll see what happens with their new uniforms. Always like new uniforms. I don't buy them immediately, but if they look nice, maybe I'll jump on it. So that's it for me, just a couple news updates. For me, I think the D core's fine. They have too many defensemen, I would say. Their forward core maybe could use one more veteran guy on the depth or center position. But I need another goalie. So hopefully somewhere out there, Bill Armstrong's working a deal to get a new goalie. Maybe there's another cap dump in the mix. There's a couple teams still over the cap. Toronto, Vegas. We might see some acquisitions and trades with them. Ottawa's looking for a defenseman, so maybe Chychrun rumors might percolate again, and Ottawa's willing to spend money now, so you never know. But just keep your eyes on the news feed, and now you're up to date with all these signings, and Jay Verity leaving, and so they need to start a search for a new coach. So don't be surprised when they announce a new Tucson Roadrunner coach. But that's it for me. Thanks for watching. If you like what you see, spread the word. And as always, thank you for your support.